This is the BillyOh Fraya Max log cabin, a flat pack log cabin that turns up in pieces and somehow becomes that. I'm going to show you exactly how to build it, or how they want you to build it, step by step. I'll show you what works, what doesn't, the bits that slow you down, and the parts they don't tell you about until you're about halfway through the build. So, if you're thinking about buying one of these, watch this first.
So this is how it turned up. Not a cabin, just a pile of timber dropped on the drive. It arrived on 2 flatbed vans, and to be fair to the drivers, they did sort of semi-organise it. But because I wasn't home, I cannot confirm or deny if you give them a little bit of ka-ching, whether they'll bring it closer to your build site. So, we're going to bring it all from the front to the back, organising it in lengths and parts to build here. So the first job is getting the base frame together. Doesn't sound too exciting, but if this isn't straight, everything else becomes a problem later on. As you can see, there are 2 separate bases here, which you bolt together so it becomes a left and a right to form your full 3x7 base.
Okay, so this is the end of our base building segment. We've laid some DPM down to stop any rising damp affecting the wood, although everything has been treated and pressure treated. I just wanted to lay this down to make sure. It was a little bit tricky to start with, but we got there in the end. So now we're ready to start on with our base logs.
I don't know why I sounded like I was crying in that segment there, but it did take a lot of work doing this. But this is where it starts to matter. Getting the base square sounds simple until you actually try and get it square. Once that's sorted, the first logs go on and it finally starts to look like something. Now, unfortunately, on this day, the family thought they'd come round and see out the progress, but we actually took a lot longer on the base than we thought. So this paused work for some time. Right, back to the building. Just stacking logs at this stage. Once you get going, it actually feels pretty quick. Right, one thing I want to make a note of here. Originally I had this full sheet of DPM down, but I didn't fancy it turning into a swimming pool and rotting all the timbers. So in this next clip you'll see that we've stripped it away into just under where it needs to be, like TPC.
Okay, so just a little cut in here while I'm here. I really wanted to stagger the floorboards. However, because they're at a certain length, there's nowhere to attach them on ends. So unfortunately, I am going to have to just do them in 2 rows.
And looking back on that now, I could have easily gone to Wicks or Jewson and got some extra timber to do that.
Okay, so another pointer. I've done these lines to mark where I need to nail in. Now you can see these ones on the left are getting closer and closer to the seam. So I'm worried that we might run out of nailing space. So I'm going to pop to Wicks and grab some more timber. I'm just going to joist, put an extra joist in just to give it a little bit more thickness.
It was also around this stage where I sort of decided I needed to get a nail gun. And I don't know why I thought this shot would be pretty cool, but yeah.
All right, quick update on the cabin build. We've hit a bit of a delay, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. The problem has occurred with one of the window frames that came with the kit. It's turned out quite warped. The timber's split down one of the bits here, and the screw fixings have already rusted straight out of the box. There's no way I can install that properly or safely, so I've had to stop at this point and get a replacement sent. To be fair, I spoke to BillyOh and they've sorted a replacement out, so now it's just a waiting game, a few days until it arrives. In the meantime, I haven't just been sat here doing nothing. I've carried on building up the walls. I've done most of that off camera because honestly it's just repetitive. It's the same process over and over again. Stacking, tapping down, checking that it's level, and you do not need to watch me do that 50 times. You already get the idea. But structurally we are in a good place now. The walls are up to a height where the windows and doors will go, and that's exactly why I can't go any further until that new frame has arrived. Once it's here, we can crack on with fitting it and then getting everything squared off and moving into the next stage of the build, which is, I believe, the roofing. So yeah, a bit of a setback, but nothing major, just part of it when you're dealing with timber kits like this. Yeah, I'll pick this straight back up as soon as that replacement part arrives, and we will crack on.
Brilliant. Thank you for that pass, Zach. But yes, the window frames go in as you build up, and they don't just drop in perfectly. You've got to line everything up as you go. So this bit's just a bit of prep for the roof. Cutting notches and getting everything ready for the roof bearers. Another one of those simple on paper steps, but took a lot longer than you'd think.
What a morning. We made a significant amount of work on the cabin build this morning. We've got both the window frames in now that the other one had been replaced. We've built up, we've put in these noggins ready for the roof bearers, purlins, whatever you want to call them, to go in, ready for the roof panels. We've also done this. Unfortunately, this one kept leaning down. It wouldn't quite sit tight into the grooves, so we have glued them in, which is why that's there, just to hold them into place. We have checked it's all level, windows are level and square. Yes, I've forgotten what I've said now, but we're just about to secure the window frames in, and we'll be moving on to the door frame next.
So next we're moving on to the door frame, which was a little bit more fiddlier than what it sort of demonstrates in the instructions. In the instructions it tells you to do the side, fit it, do the top, fix it, and then move on to the other side. But what I realised is there's little notches for the top to sit into, which I'm not sure if I show it clearly in here in this part of the video, but it doesn't work that way. It's easier to do the top and then slide the sides in. So that was me attempting to do the top, which doesn't quite work. So now you can fit the top and slide the side in, and that is me demonstrating how my mother always told me to use my head. So now we're just inserting the roof bearers and making some minor adjustments to those notches. Once the roof bearers go in, everything finally starts to stiffen up properly. The next stage now is putting on the roof boards. These come in two different sizes, shorter ones on the edges, longer ones in the middle. Now the kit does come with felt, but instead I went with EPDM, which is a bit more work but a much better finish long term. I don't show me doing that in this video as I wanted to keep this closer to the manual or the instructions.
Okay, so we're moving on to the windows and the doors now. I have just done one off camera just to make sure I got it right. So this one will go through a little bit easier. If there's any wind noise like that, please excuse it. It's very windy out there today. The first thing you want to do with your doors and windows is, there are trims around which I'll add the clip to now. So after you've added those trims around the edges on the inside, measure 150. By the way, the hinges go on the outside. This one I want hinging from this side, so I've got to do it on the other side and then flip it over.
150, 150. So many things in my pockets. So the first part of hinges come in two parts. This bit and this bit. Basically what you do is you screw this in, and then if need be you can adjust it when it's on the frame. If you need to adjust it that much, you've got some problems. In the instructions it does state 5mm max, but we'll see. So as I said, I want these on the outside. Can I get another turn? Another turn there. Right, we'll go with that. So I've made my mark there for 150. You want the barrel pointing up. So the third part, which will go on the frame, sits in there. So they do recommend get a bit of packaging and lay it at the bottom, just to give you a little bit of a spacer. But that bit might be a little too much of a space. Oh no, alright. Tidy. So as you can see, they're quite well fit, these windows, to the window frames that come with it. I've got so much things in my pocket. Okay, so on the outside hinge you've got 3 holes. Do the first 2 now, and then to come to this one you'll have to take the hinge, not the hinge off, but you'll have to take the window off and then screw it tight. A little bit too close to the edge, so I'll just this one slightly. That's it, that's it. I was trying to put it quite near to there. Okay. Let's give it a test from the inside. And voila,
a window. And it closes almost perfectly if I had a handle, which will be our next part to do, is measure where you want to put your handles. I did this on the other one, so I've just copied that, which is 555. Obviously you can put these wherever you want. I'm just trying to get it as close to the middle as possible. It's 555, about there. That'll be my top. Okay. I want to point out as well, for the entirety of this cabin build, I have been using Torx wood screws when needed, but I'm using the ones that came with the packaging, the Phillips head screws, just the standard ones for these. That is not necessary, that was just my own personal choice. Now for the bit that I really didn't like doing on the other one, setting the adjustable arm. I don't know why I didn't like doing this, but it just felt tacky. Again, I'm setting this to the same on the other window. So that there's a nice equal distance between 18. I think that's how it's done. I never fitted these before in my life, so I'm not entirely sure if there's a wrong or a right way to get them done. But this is how I'm doing it. See, this is what I mean. Tacky. Look. Yes, look at that. So that is the fully lockable and adjustable window. Come on. Now onto the door.
And did I show you doing the door? Did I fuck?
And that's the BillyOh Fraya Max log cabin, built start to finish, following the instructions, with a few necessary adjustments along the way. If I was going to be doing this again, there's a few things I would change straight away. First, the floorboards. I'd leave them out until the roof's on. It stops them getting soaked, marked, or wrecked while you're working. Second, I would spend more time than you think on the base. It was a nightmare. If that's
even slightly out, you'll fight it the whole way up. And the doors and windows, don't just assume they'll fit. Be ready to tweak, adjust, and line everything properly. And the fixings, like I did on this one, the fixings they send with it, realistically, upgrade them. You'll get a much tighter, stronger build. But overall, it does go together. It's solid once it's up, and if you're thinking about getting one, this is what you're actually signing up for. This isn't staying as just a cabin either. It's turning into a full garden bar and brewing shed. And this is going to be the name. Have a good luck. First person to guess it in the comments gets some Berserker Den merch. And there's a nice little Easter egg in one of the videos over on the main channel. See if you can spot it. If you've enjoyed this behind the scenes style video that doesn't quite fit in the main channel's direction, let me know. Or even better, let me know if you want to see more of the behind the scenes things, and let me know of your suggestions. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.